Okay, let's call the Forestry and Parks Buildings and Grounds meeting to order. Clerk Wood.
Good morning, Michelle Drobnik.
Here.
Jeff Hallstrand.
Here.
Jason Hastings, are you remote?
I am.
Thank you. Jordan Spacek.
Here.
And Patricia Stephen. All are present. Thank you.
Okay, very good. Public comment and communications. I don't really have much. Joe, do you have anything you'd like to share, or Josh? I guess we're starting with Josh probably, but
That's Q.
No,
We're good.
Not you.
no, we got to do the minutes first, but yeah, I just looking to see if there's any public comments or communication. There's no public, so we'll move on. Minutes from our June 3rd meeting. Any corrections or additions?
No, I'll make a motion to approve.
Got a motion by Michelle,
I'll second.
second by Jordan. No other discussion. All those in favor? Aye. Patty? Okay. All those opposed? Hearing none. Minutes are approved. Next meeting date will be September 2nd. Unless we want to move that out, being as it's Labor Day weekend. Okay, hearing nothing. September 2nd it is. Okay, buildings and ground, project updates probably covers most of your line items there. But go ahead, Josh.
Probably, yes. Yep. I guess the ins and outs of the daily stuff. Quarterly PMs were done in July, so completed those. Lots of inspections. It's kind of the season of inspections right now. So backflow prevention, elevators, generators, fire extinguishers, boilers have all been completed so far. Tomorrow I've got fire alarm inspection coming. So that's all been completed. The crew, we did run some Cat 6 in probation, helping IT out and getting some computers for probation state access, I guess. Our biggest project though lately has been the painting of the concrete park, the house at the concrete park. So we've been working on that for about a month now, probably. Some days it's only an hour here, hour there, so that's why it's taken so long. But if you go past, you can. That's the yellowish building that you can see from 13. So it's been lots of scraping on the paint and getting it prepped, and now we're in the painting phase. So that's probably going to wrap up this next week. So that's the majority of, I guess, projects. Any questions on that?
Nope.
Just go driving by.
Good.
Department update and finance report. I don't know if Nick, you want to talk finances, or Josh, you want to talk about them?
Sure, I can update on the finances. Everything seems to be going well with the department. We've had our average number of quick fixes or fixes we've needed to spend money that really wasn't, we budgeted enough for maintenance. We haven't had any of the large, like something blow up or something that just needs the fix. So overall, we're doing pretty well in there. We have some other projects that we were just working on that yesterday with Carrie to kind of plan out the rest of the year, saying, okay, we have X dollars. Here's the projects we want to work on. Here's, does it fit? The one that isn't budgeted that's coming up is we don't know the final cost of the sidewalk project for the city. Their goal is still to get that done by the end of this year. It sounds like the materials, the engineer has come up with a general overall or estimate. It sounds like materials was around that $10 a square foot, and then engineering and labor and everything was another 10. So about $20 a square foot is what the end. That's what they're predicting the bids to come in at. We have about 200 to 220 linear feet out front, so times 5. So we're looking at $15,000 to $20,000 for that project. The way the city does that is you actually don't get billed for a whole another year, so we can kind of plan for it. We know we're not doing anything special, outside the budget for it. We're just gonna work through that.
I didn't notice, did we rip all that sidewalk out?
No, because
So it's all there and the road, the curb, gutter, everything's in, but we still gotta replace it?
Yep. So
Curb they've redone
the
so far.
curbs are done. The curb in the street portion is what the state's doing. The sidewalk was a separate project through the
But
city.
if it's there, it's just not good, or?
Yep, the city has deemed it that all of downtown needs to be updated. So they're doing it as a single project rather than like this in front of this business and then in front of that business. So it's one singular project. It brings it up to the ADA standards is the big part of it. So it gets rid of most of the step going down. What is it? The west side of Highway 13.
They're just gonna push that step up into the buildings then?
No, it sounds like what it'll be is because it's wide enough, they can make the 5-foot walking path, which is the requirement, and then they'll do a grade. So right now a lot of the sidewalk is between 9 and 11 feet. They'll actually do 5 feet of sidewalk, and then I can't remember. I thought they were calling it a boulevard, but it's from that 5-foot point to the curb can be no more than a 4% grade, which is very little if you know 4%, and it'll be a different color, most likely stamped, so that it's more of a eye. Like it looks nice, but it's no longer that step.
Don't worry, the whole thing's a cluster, I'm sure.
No, Michelle. No, it's been a long process. Their goal is to bid it out, get it done. That it just comes down to us. They'll give us a bill. It technically would go on the 2027 tax bill. The problem is we don't have a tax bill for this building, so we'll just get a bill for that, which I believe will be due in 2027. So it'll get done now. They can't get it on the tax bill for next year. We'll get billed next year for 2027's taxes. Other than that, the financials right now, we have one individual out on FMLA, which doesn't really affect it. It just Josh and the crew that's here takes longer to do the grass or has less hands to run around if there is issues going on.
Okay, any questions for Josh or Nick? About finances? We'll move on to courthouse boilers and exhaust system. Hooray.
Okay, the update on this one, I guess to preface this, I brought this up how many months ago now, kind of showed pictures of that venting of the boilers down there starting to rust out, and everybody remembers that, correct? And then this project, couldn't get parts for it. Started talking to Jamar about what our options are. And before we knew it, we had $180,000 project on our that we were looking at, and we said, well, that's not really feasible for what we're looking at. So what I ended up doing, I guess, with that, I spent some time talking to Metal Fab, who was the constructor of that ventilation system. And what I decided to go with was my crew completely disassembled that, the venting. It's in 4-foot sections and then all your elbows and everything. So we spent about a week to almost 2 weeks disassembling everything. I got the correct sealant from the manufacturer. We cleaned everything up, resealed everything, and reinstalled the entire system. So that's where we're sitting at right now. As of, and that was probably a good month ago now. We did, in that time frame, we did have a boiler inspection that came. Everything looked good. They signed off on everything. We cleaned up all that rust that was on there, and so far it's looking great. Now, it still doesn't fix or address the entire problem. I mean, that's a huge fix. Gets us by hopefully another 5 to 10 years so that we have the boilers. But at some point, we're going to have to readdress that. Possibly we can get new boilers. Maybe there's a new ventilation system that we can do at that time. But this gets us by for a while. So
Gives us the ability to put it on as a capital project down the road. And
Yeah, the budget.
Correct.
budget properly
Yeah.
for it.
And
yeah.
like Josh said, when we brought in, the major cost of the project was to redo that chimney area and the ventilation, not necessarily the elbow part. So we got the elbow part fixed. That was the big,
Yeah.
the immediate issue. The ventilation chimney part is still there. We have the issue. However, when we were looking at boilers, there may be an ability when we replace to go out the side of the building instead of back up that chimney. either way, if we do have to go up the chimney, that's when we would fix it, is with the boiler project. Just makes the boiler project more expensive. Now, like Josh said, is that 5 years? Is that 10 years? So at the 10-year mark would be, our boilers would be at 25 years of age. And they're saying you get a good 15 to 20 out of it. So that's why we're saying between 5 and 10, where we would be readdressing this issue.
Well, good job. I mean, I guess save some money right now, and we can budget for it and look at our options down the road, and who knows what technology is going to do in the next 5-10 years, as far as venting and.
Yeah, but even like the normal building, when we put those boilers in, what was that last year? That's a completely different venting than what's here now, with the new technology. So that's PVC, a lot smaller. Just that's what those boilers are. So once we do put different boilers in, then it might be a different kind of venting situation that we'll need at that point. And
Sure.
so we'll address it at that time.
Well, good. We'll put that one to bed for a while. Courthouse electrical panel.
I really have no new update on that. I've been working with Peeper because kind of in the talks right now. We need to get an RFP together, and so we're working through that right now. But that's the only new info I have for that.
Yeah, I would say the biggest thing we're working through is, do we need to have a courthouse, what they called an electrical survey or something, where they go through and it's like, we just want to replace with like product. It works. Cool if they go up 10%. It works. It fits our needs. But do we need to get the electrical survey to say, okay, with servers changing and with whatever, air conditioners, which all that to me is getting more efficient. So you shouldn't have that problem. That's where the hang up is do we need to get that electrical survey before we do the RFP? And right now, I don't think so. But that also makes the RFP a lot harder because you can't just say replace with like product, because you have to have a very descriptive, which would be part of that engineering.
Doesn't the electric company provide a device they can put on at the meter to measure?
Yeah, it's less about that and where it's going and which one needs switches, and it's a design. To redesign the whole switch is what it would do, which gives you all the information for your RFP. Right. That's where it's going to say you're going to need 8 switches. You're going to need this many panels. You're going to need this much pays coming in and going out. That's where the survey would help. But if we can work with Peeper or Jamar or whoever just to help us write that RFP, it may be an option. And that's what we're working through.
Okay. Number 8, courthouse pump replacement.
So on that one, the parts are ordered. Jamar will be here in the next couple of weeks, it looks like, to start working on that pump. I don't know if we talked about last time, but I was looking at doing that through insurance claim, and that did come through. That did get approved, so we did get the replacement funding, I guess, for that. So that's good. And like I said, parts are ordered, and I'm just waiting on them to get up here and
That was
get her
from
installed.
Energy Surge or?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was that pump that blew up when we had the power outage,
sure.
lightning strike.
It's the main pump. So right now we've been working on the backup pump. So
And then our goal is, once this one's replaced, is to look at what it would cost to replace the backup pump, because that's also aged with the building. So with a brand new one in place, that'll be great. Then we'll work on getting this one. We could have saved a little bit by doing both at the same time, but we can also wait a year to
this
do that.
this gets us going and make sure we're good for the winter here.
Yeah,
this
sure.
year. So
Good. All right. Any other questions for Josh? We'll let him go painting.
go paint. All right.
All
Thank you.
right. Thank you, sir. Okay, we'll move on to forestry and parks. Joel, how are you doing?
Good.
Good. First item there would be Solberg Lake campground update.
Okay, so since the last meeting, we're the site prep contract, that's almost complete. He's got to bring 12 loads gravel, mainly for the walking trails. And then all the blue rock has to go on top of that for the ADA surface. We rented a tracked skid steer for a couple months here for moving material around within that project. Sewer and water all it was installed. That's pretty much complete. Electrical, all the in-ground stuff is completed. The above ground, the pedestals and lights and stuff like that, that's got to be installed yet, but they were waiting kind of for surfaces to be set. So that sounds like in the next few weeks, they'll be moving in on that. The roads, American came in and they wanted some of the recycled asphalt put on top of what we had set. So Highway was able to haul that in for us. So we did do that. Adds a little cost, but hopefully we get a good product out of it, I guess. They're paving the base course today. So should be done by the end of the day. Highway will come in and shoulder that right in the next couple of weeks whenever we get a cold day, so it doesn't wreck the surface that much. We had holes dug for the vault toilets. That was yesterday. We gotta prep the base for that, and then they'll be installed on Thursday. See, topsoil screening, we bid that out. We had 2 bids. Terry Polachek won the bid over Minocqua grading at $877 a yard. We decided to screen that topsoil just to make for a better product on the back end of things. So we'll use whatever we can there, and the rest will go Highway. Will haul it away to their shop to be used for whatever. So we did put out bids for pickleball court on the slab from the old pavilion. I included those in your packet, just what we got. Most likely we're going to go with the tile. It's a snap together type deal. It's got a 16-year warranty on it. So reason we're doing that versus the acrylic right now, that's what I'm leaning towards, is the way that is, we probably would have to, there's blacktop around that slab, and that blacktop is a little bit higher than our concrete in spots, so it'd hold water. And with this, that water would sit underneath there and it wouldn't be an issue. So it's kind of where I'm leaning. Otherwise, we'd probably have to pull that blacktop out and replace. So be still deciding, but it'll be FlexCourt would be the winning bidder there. Reason they're cheaper on the tile is the same tile as I think the ProVantage one, but they had a sale on it, I guess. So, and FlexCourt is like the ProVantage uses FlexCourt's product basically, and whatever.
So is this just bids for the materials, or is there that's installed?
The tile one from FlexCourt is not installed. That's just a snap together. So I did send them an email to check on that and whatever. So we're still getting that, I guess, squared away. So but the acrylic, those are all installed or painted on. So
With the topsoil, are you guys moving all of that into place, or is that Minocqua's deal?
that's us. Yeah,
You borrow the
Yeah.
loader from the
we have the highways loader.
loader
Yeah.
and moving it out and
Yeah.
skid steering it around and whatnot.
Yeah, we'll use their loader and then our little trucks to move stuff around to kind of get it to places where we can.
So Minocqua
Get it
got in
done.
there and got the gravel all done up, and
Yep, like I said, 12. They owe 12 loads yet, so I think tomorrow we're moving gravel today for walking trails. So we'll see where we need the extra gravel, and then we'll still end up needing, they'll shoulder. We'll have spots within sites where we'll end up having to, just elevations
little, yeah.
wise, whatever. We'll have to touch up spots. That's that'll be for once we get that other stuff done kind of deal.
So the top dirt that they're bringing that in, or is that all stuff that we'd stripped there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all the strip stuff. We had them just place it in a pile, and then
Who's
it's-
gonna screen it?
Terry Polachek was the one that won the
Oh,
bid.
okay.
So he bid, it was $877 a yard for the screening. So
He had quite the pile there when I was out there a couple weeks ago.
yeah.
Did we decide on playground stuff for there?
Yes.
Okay.
That's the one piece is getting installed on Sunday. The other one is going to be in September. We moved it back just to give us time to move the topsoil out of the way.
Sure.
A lot of finish work to do at this point. I mean, it's going to be a lot of moving material on our end as far as lawn areas and
Seating.
around the sites, and that'll take a lot of time. The shaping, walking trail stuff still has to get done as well. So
You're not anticipating opening them up yet this year, are you?
no, we won't be close. No, I mean we kind of, but not really close.
Did we get our permits for the back, for the trail exiting there?
So we were able to avoid wetlands. We were able to find a way, so we will not need a permit that way. So should be good.
A little bit of dozer work and
Yeah. We will, the one other thing we'll probably bid out here eventually will be a fence for around by the pickleball or ball court area, because where that's close to the road, keep the balls from rolling out into the road. And then also around that one piece of equipment, play equipment too, just keep the deer off of it basically from walking across it when it's deflated. So we'll have that bid going out. But that's kind of where we're sitting on that project.
well, sounds like it's moving along pretty good. I'll have to take a ride out there. See, I was out there about a month ago and it was fairly crude yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of work to do yet.
Well, it's a big project.
Yeah.
How has the campground been as far as reservations? A lot of grumbling, a lot of not, a lot of happy people.
It's been working okay. There's always little things that don't go perfect. You can write as many things as you want. As far as here's the rules, here's what you're supposed to do. People don't read things. One guy scream at me last year was, well, you need to put that. And it's like, well, it's on the sign when you come in. It's online. It's on the camping envelope, so you can't put it anywhere else, so it just, those kind of things are where, a person reserves a spot and a person comes in and tries to do a first come, first serve on it, even though you have the, marked on the site and whatever. So yeah, there's small things like that happen that,
And growing pains too.
yeah, and that'll get better over time because people get used to it more and more, but you'll never completely get rid of that because just the way it is.
Is our caretaker satisfied out there?
Yeah, she seems to be doing okay. Everybody, as far as caretakers, everybody has their strengths and weaknesses as far as it goes, and she seems to be doing pretty well. I don't know, but
Okay, good. Any other questions for Joe about the update on the campground? Okay, camping rates. I see that's here. Suggestions. I know that was one of our previous discussions on when we do open that new site up, where we're gonna do some long-term.
yeah, with having sewer and water at each site, and that being an amenity that we have there, it'd probably be a benefit to us to offer that in that newer part.
Yep, I wholeheartedly agree that we should.
And I know it would be a pain, but I still think that could be $5 more, you know. I mean, it's tough to up one versus the other, but I mean, it's you're offering everything then, you know.
The down the other side, I guess that's something I think we should see how much play it gets.
Sure.
You know, it's
Just
not on
keep
the
it the same for
water.
now.
Yeah, and I mean that's just my 2 cents.
That's
You
fine.
guys do as you see fit, but just let's see what we get for people utilizing it first, and then
Sure.
because we don't advertise anywhere, so it's all going to be word of mouth. That takes time to get
Mhm.
people in if you're just doing it that way. You know,
And I think
So
just,
you're okay with sticking to the $30 a day then?
personally, I am, but I'm not. You guys, that's kind of your decision too, as far as
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't Little City Beach, they're getting 30 a day,
Hmm.
yeah. You should just be consistent across. the board. Yeah.
I know this year, I didn't realize it when we booked it, but a little girl's point went to 32, which is like, they don't charge a booking fee, you know, but they went to 32. So I think that's where they make up their booking fee is a couple bucks, you know. And who do we use for the booking? I forget. Cause theirs was Camp Host or Camp Spot or something like that.
Camp Spot
Is that-
probably
is
is
that-
the one. Yeah,
Yeah.
ours is. Gosh, I can't think of it offhand. No, it's not Civic. It's
Yeah, I've never used it yet. So that's why I was just curious. I couldn't remember.
Well, Joe's looking that up. Carrie and I were looking at the park revenues this year. We're $31,000 ahead of last year at this time. But I think where we're seeing, I think we'll even out. I mean, I guess that Joe
of the
can tell you if we have,
prepay?
right, the prepay. So was it February, March, and April? There was like $8,000, $9,000 in sale in each one of those, where the previous year it was like $250. So that pre-registration did get our money sooner. We now know what's going to come, but then we'll see that dip. That prepay was early, not towards the end. Doesn't mean we're not going to fill the other sites that weren't online payments. So in fiscally for the parks, we're ahead 31,000 year over year, but we're also I can't remember it was the total, but we are less expenses as of this time last year also. So there's been a pretty good net gain year over year. And so we'll see with word of mouth if that continues to grow, like the pre-registration. I think we're seeing it working. I know there's, like Joe said, hiccups, but in general,
once growing pains, we're gonna have some of that, you know, and
absolutely.
I mean, I think tying in with it, once we get it all done, when the chambers enjoy Price County site is really working good, having a link to our site, that's gonna help with some of that booking, I think, drive a little more business that way.
Have they updated their site?
It's a work in progress. They're adding stuff to it. I mean, every week they're working on it more and more. So
I did just get a pamphlet in the mail yesterday to advertise in the new book. I don't know if you guys get that. I would assume so. But the new visitor guide, and it's going to be a 2-year thing.
it's gonna be 2 years, correct?
Yeah, so maybe that's something to look at, putting an ad in, you know, with, hey, you know, new site, ATV, UTV friendly out there, full hookups on 40 sites. And I
You know,
assume we're going to go online reservation with those 40 as well as what currently is for
That
next
was-
year.
That was our plan, was to
Okay.
do that.
That's fine.
Yeah, and I think somebody should be reaching out to Joe's department
I
to
would
gain
think
that
s-
information.
I would
mean,
think so,
the
but just
county
in
is
case.
not a member of the chamber.
Yep.
But they are part of.
But the chamber gets funds from the county.
They get funds from the county. Exactly. That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
We kind of handed off the tourism department to them,
Yep.
and so our campgrounds should all be.
The last time I looked, the as far as campground in that website, they weren't even. It was still a note from COVID, and the campgrounds in there that were listed were not even in the county. So
Okay, I know the
we were
person that's
maybe
working
eventually
on that project.
on the list, maybe down below, but that was.
But like I said, in that visitor guide, it might not hurt to put a ad in there, you know, somehow, some way, something.
And yeah, I think again, gonna be
Mhm.
meeting with Jonathan here right after this meeting, so.
Sure.
I can bring that up, that we should get some good exposure.
Yeah.
Spending a lot of money, enhancing that campground, we should.
Connect Park is the name of the
Oh,
company.
Connect Park? Okay.
Connect.
I'll have to look that up.
Michelle's on there now. She said it's on there.
Good deal.
I know one of the employees that works down there knows a lot about your parks, Joe. So,
Okay, so do we need to make a motion on anything like that? Do you want a motion on that, just to keep the rates the same and?
So yeah, I guess what we need is if we're gonna allow for a longer
long
term,
term,
I kind of put on there a 1 month and then a 4 month rate. And that, well, I guess that would be the decision too, whether it's, okay, we say
May 15th.
you have to be, May 15th, so you could say that, or you could allow that to be a rolling
Yeah.
deal too.
Are we gonna, do they have to take it out in the winter? Or is there a
Yes.
time?
No.
So I wouldn't make it rolling because somebody would just be like, I'm gonna
Sure.
keep rolling. And I would say,
Yeah, I guess I didn't.
when you sign up, your 4 months starts here and your 4 months ends here, where you can move it after that, but
Sure.
just to keep it cleaner.
so, you brought up a good point. How long are we gonna allow people to be in that part of the campground with the water and sewer? I know traditionally we shut down after Labor
Well,
Day, right?
those lines are gonna get blown out as well. So
Okay.
that's all gonna have to get drained. So
We would just clearly define that on that, where it's like, you can do 4 months, but this is when the water and sewer shut
Yeah,
down.
October 1st, weather tentative, I mean, that needs to be stated. Usually, I would assume you usually get to October, right?
yeah, usually the other bathrooms, we're gonna shut those down. It's that 10th to 15th date
Sure.
is usually when
Sure.
we do it. Some years we tried to hold on longer and then pipes would break. So we've kind of said 15th is kind of that target date, as long as
Of
we're
October.
I
gonna
remember
go.
years
Yeah,
of breaking
so
ice during
with
harvest.
this,
so.
with this, it's gonna be, it's gonna be because of those spigots come up. We're probably gonna have to do it even earlier because they will
Yeah.
more readily freeze than even pipes in a building because they're a little more protected. So that's probably going to be end of September. That October 1st date. So as far as we're
So, I
gonna
mean,
get,
we could shut that off through October 1st and that's it, period.
Mhm.
Irregardless of what the weather is.
Well-
Well, and I wouldn't say, because people can still go in there and camp,
Camp, right.
But
Yeah, you
as
can
far
still
as
use your
water's gonna be shut down on this date.
So you just say water's available from May 15th,
Because
tentatively October
where
1st.
you're not gonna shut down.
Yeah,
That still flows.
Your
Yeah, so-
4 month reservation can go at any time in the year. It's just, this is when water would be
Right,
available.
right, because people for fall hunting could still come there
Oh,
with their own reservoir and their trailer and play
And
it
stay
by
for a
ear.
month, right?
Stay
I
for a
mean,
month of
that even
hunting,
would
yeah.
count for the 1 month ones. Is like, cool, I want to come October, all of October. Well,
Yeah.
there may not be water.
Right,
You can still,
Well, and we'll have water available on the other side.
right? There's not water connections. It's-
right.
Well, and even that we'll have that pump house is going to be heated, so we'll have water there available too. So
Sure.
So. Is there a reason then that, say after October 1st, that they couldn't rent by the month on the other side for hunters and that sort of thing?
you're talking as far as the basically, I think where we need to limit is the 4 month. That's the window, but the 1 month thing, I don't think
Right,
we should
but
limit.
say after October 1st, can they rent on the other side
Mhm.
then?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's guys that
But
stay
like-
in there.
Yeah,
Okay.
We get a few
But
trickled in
I
November,
don't think
we?
we're going to do the long term on
On
the
the
current.
main side.
Yeah, a
currently.
few. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but like, say after October 1st, it's not like super hot and pressing. I mean, someone could rent it by the month over there then at that point.
That,
yes, without water.
No.
She's saying on the current
Oh, on the
location.
camp. On the
Current
current
side,
side.
say come October 1st, why could we not rent that by the month? I mean, it like,
Sometimes just
Just-
for clarity, as far as not
Yeah.
just the part of people never read rules on things. It's the longer term rates are available over
I
here.
think the way
only.
you advertise is, this is the monthly rate over here. We don't have monthly rate over here, but if someone came in January and was like, can I spend a month out there? Which spot, which they
Good luck.
isn't, right, it's not plowed,
Yeah.
it's
Right.
not whatever, but they could work with Forestry to say what site you want for the month in November. That would be
Yeah.
more realistic. So
Yeah.
I agree with Joe for advertising purposes. Here's the clear defined waters from this date to this date. There's a 1 month, a 4 month. It's all the monthly rates are on the new section across the street. Again, if someone came in November and was like, hey, I'd rather be over there, that's a Joe question.
Yeah.
That they
Where
can
it could
work
be
out.
an option though.
Yeah.
So somebody need, well,
Yeah, we just need a motion to accept these for starting. We can always review it next year.
At the $30 a day.
well, no, to allow long-term
Long-term.
camping,
At the rate
month
of
and 4 month camping
$750 a month and $27.50 for
on
4
the,
months
on the new portion,
in the new portion.
at the new sites. That's better.
Okay, I'll make that motion. You got that all, Meredith? I spoke it well, right?
So I have motion by Dropnik to accept the rates for campsites with electric, water, and sewer, including the 1 month and 4 month rates as presented. And between May 15th through October 1st, water is available. Would you like to add anything?
I wouldn't put all that. in the
Don't put
motion.
the dates of water available on the motion, just because
We'll just
that-
put that on the website.
On the new
that,
side,
right.
though.
especially because you get the 1st of May, it sometimes have snow and we don't.
Maybe
want-
Sometimes you get a hot April and the water's on early. Never know.
It can be a very simple motion saying we want to do these long, or
Yeah.
they're not long-term. They're monthly rates for the new sites. It doesn't have to be that complicated. It's nice that it's descriptive, but it doesn't need to be.
Could you read back what you have?
So motion Dropnik to accept the rates for the campsites with electric, water, and sewer for the monthly rates and the 4 month rate as presented.
Okay. Everybody happy with that? We have a motion. Just need a second.
I'll second.
Second by Patty. Any other discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, say aye.
All right.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. What if I want to rent it for 2 months? Same price?
$1,500.
Okay.
They go for the lot.
All right.
Okay, that was fun.
Camping rates, department update, financial report.
So timber sales, there's been a few throughout the summer. It's been with that wet weather, it slowed things down quite a bit. As far as revenue goes, we're sitting pretty good on the year overall. Applied for a sustainable forestry grant for graveling woods roads. Those sustainable forestry grants are they're 100% state money. We don't match, so they're nice grants. So we'll see if we get that or not. We'll present that once we hear back from the state. Those aren't guaranteed or anything. It all depends, but they did in the state budget increase that money that was placed into that fund. So see, we started mowing a little bit on trails, but it's kind of one of those things where playing that in between Solberg projects. So we'll see if we may struggle to get all those done depending how the year goes here. We had to replace the undercarriage on the dozer. We took it down to Jonas Track to get it completed. That bill should be was in the vouchers. See Steve Creek, the update on that, final design, drawing specs, those should be in shortly. He did send some update stuff to the DNR for them to look at. So, and he said within the next few weeks, he should be in on that. The Cranberry Creek flowage, that the plans are supposed to be done by the end of the year. Basically, the DNR gave the engineer, said, you need to have these done X date, and that's the date they gave.
Do we anticipate that one getting shut down by the DNR or?
So the reason why those had to be done was because of, there was, the outlet size on the one plan was like 42 and the other one showed 46. So it was, oh, we better look at the whole thing. So then they started looking at the whole thing, and some of it they didn't take into account, some of the outflow from Cranberry Lake and whatever. So that's why they had to redo the H&H study on it. So hydrology study on it. So the funding is in place on that one. That was one where it was but those dam grants are 50-50. The match amount, the max was 25,739. So we'll see what we come back with on the design, and then we'll kind of know what costs are going to look like then. So we were contacted by a company that does bike races. Iron Bull is the name. They do some bike races middle of the state. Anyways, they wanted to use the Pine Line and then go up the Timms Hill National Trail, which leads through Timms Hill Park. So they're going to do that in October. The Pine Line crossing, so I'm just contacted the second person they put fiber across the Pine Line, and those you need a permit for. And so trying to track down the person to actually get them to pay for the permit. That fee all goes to the Pine Line Commission. Besides that, that's
Anything from the shooting range down there from Pipcorn?
I haven't touched working on it yet. It probably won't get much done here this year. I'm guessing most of our
Resources.
it's been a daily out in Salzburg. So time wise, we won't have much. And with that, we'll look at doing a contract with them, or an MOU as far as with the Sportsman's Club down there. So we're on the same page before we move forward. So
Okay. How about a new Blue Source carbon credits? I know there was a meeting. You want to give an update as to what happened there, or Nick, or?
it's markets are slow. We're moving towards sales, but markets are slow. So we'll see what there's a lot of credits, public land credits for sale is the way it sounded. It was the update was yours should be listed pretty soon. As far as timeline on sales, that was, kind of a iffy situation on.
Yeah,
when,
they didn't
you
want to
know,
nail
you
it
don't
down
know.
and say, you're going to get a check on this date. However, they were optimistic that next year we'll see that. The goal was to have a sale happen by the end of this year, which then takes a couple months to distribute the funds. We did have that meeting. It was a couple weeks ago. Brian was out of town. I know, Jeff, you were out of town. You were both invited to it. Again, it was, they were introducing us to is he a forester? That
Yeah.
Jeremy, but I can't remember what his name was. He's in charge of all of Wisconsin's accreditations now, which should streamline it. That was a big holdup over the last year. But in general, their still average sale is above that $20 mark, which when we originally signed up, it was at $8. So it's just a matter of getting to the sale point, and moving forward.
So there was no discussion about, wasn't there, if I remember the contract, something about no activity in 5 years? No,
There's
or
no.
10 years?
No,
a
the
renewal?
contract was good for 10 years. And then at the 10-year mark, if you want to continue with you can renew that contract.
So does our 10-year contract go from the date of first sale or from the date of?
I asked that question. It was not first sale. It wasn't listing. They gave a date. So we're
into it basically.
yeah, 2, I would say. I can't remember what there was it wasn't like you signed it and it was you signed it, but the 10-year mark starts when the first survey, or I don't remember what
Something I would assume that when they came out and inspected the areas, but that's when it started.
because they had to accept the project after the signing type thing. I did ask that though. I can't remember because that was my concern is we're almost 4 years in, and say we're at the fifth, 6 years when we do the first sale. Well, there's still a lot of credits to be sold. I don't want to get to the point where
Yeah, I'm pretty
Some-
sure basically they had to do the initial survey, make sure it's a viable product, product
Maybe
first,
that was
and
project
then
viability.
once they do that, that's when
Okay.
Okay.
from my memory anyways.
Any other questions for Joel or the department?
do you want to, we did have bulldozer stuff. Do you want to talk
That's
about?
what I was the undercarriage on the dozer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
You did
that
talk-
end
I
up
was
running? I
reading
guess I-
something.
Yep.
Sorry.
I seen the Jonas thing, but what,
Yeah.
remember what the total was?
16 something,
16.5-ish, but again,
just
we
under
work-
17.
Yeah, we'll work
We just
through
put new rails on our
maintenance.
6 at work, and it was 17,000, but we did all the work
Yeah.
just for the rails.
And I'm surprised, Jonas, is it still the elderly gentleman? I mean, he does great work,
Yeah.
but he did my dozer 15 years ago and I thought he was ready to retire then.
He did this one 6 years ago.
No, we had somebody else do it, and
Did he
it
go?
was, yeah, it was one of those deals where we talked to multiple people, and everybody that you talked to said go to him.
Mhm.
So that's who we went to. We had somebody else do it last time, and they kind of use some, like for the bushings, they cut their own round stock and put it in there versus using actual parts, which that's what caused faster wear down on the machine. It's one of those things where you gotta use the, yeah, you save a couple bucks, but it didn't save us any money in the long run. So you go to somebody that actually does the track work all the time.
He
and-
does good work.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got
So-
all the equipment to do it.
And no matter what, it's not a easy life on a dozer, what we're using it for either. It's not a contractor machine that sits on a construction site like that either. And that is tougher on a machine too. So plowing snow in the winter isn't the easiest life for them. So
Okay, anything else for Joel? We'll go to the meeting. Thank you, Joel. Vouchers, we all got to see them. Any questions?
Hey, the new truck and trailer are full operation.
yeah, we did get, yeah, good point. We did order the trailer too for the 1 ton. We are gonna sell the old one. It's currently housing the play equipment for out there. So then it's on a pallet that's strapped on there like a carnival ride. So we're gonna leave it on there like that till we get it installed, and then we'll look to sell that. Same thing with the old green, the old green truck. We will sell that. Right now, the way the airlines come off of the new one, when you turn the truck about this, not even, you turn a corner, you bust the line. So we got to get that re-drilled and replaced. So we're going to keep that green truck till we get move this material out here. It's very nice to have. So we have 2 trucks to haul with that are, so we'll look to sell that once we're done with this as
Makes
well.
sense. Finish the project out and put it out.
Yeah. So we'll be selling those 2 pieces of equipment either this fall or spring, whatever makes sense for selling. So
To approve the vouchers.
Have a motion. to Approve the vouchers, second by
I'll
Jordan.
second.
Any other discussion about them? Questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you.